I've been making a lot of WNBA videos, and I mostly have been focusing on the rookies because, let's be real, at the end of the day, I'm going to talk about whoever gets the most clicks because, well, this is hopefully, touch wood, going to end up as my job sometime, talking about the sport of basketball, just like talking about 2K was. So we are in the clicks business. But of the rookies, my favorite rookie is Angel Reese. I don't think Angel Reese is going to be... It's weird when you define what you define as the best players when it comes to basketball players, because Angel Reese right now, her or Cameron Brink, you can literally put into any team in the WNBA and they get made better. They're better. Like, it doesn't matter where you put them, both of those make every team better. Whereas Caitlin Clark, you could honestly say she made the Indiana Fever worse. As great as she is a person that has to be the system, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Like, we don't necessarily judge basketball players by their plug and play ability as far as like the best players in the world. Like, LeBron doesn't make every NBA team better, but he will make some teams better. Whereas Klay Thompson makes every NBA team in the history of the sport better. Prime LeBron is better than Klay Thompson, obviously. But I'm going to be talking about Angel Reese in this video. Before we on to go, though, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 4,000 subscribers as soon as possible. If we can hit that by the end of the day, that'd be absolutely insane. So, when it comes to Angel Reese, I think that she is... I've been trying to have NBA comparisons, and I compared her to Rodman, and Rodman does not have nearly the offensive game that Angel Reese has. Because Angel Reese can pass, she hustles on defense, she works hard, she gets rebounds, and like... I will say, a lot of the reason she gets offensive boards is because she catches her own rebounds, but it doesn't matter. She's always in position. She always looks to steal. I actually think her overall comparison, I'm going to say, is like prime Joakim Noah. And yes, I'm judging with everything. Like, Angel Reese's jump shot looks broken. Like, she follows through. Her two hands basically clap off each other when she follows through. She's gotten better from the free throw line, but it doesn't matter if it goes in. Angel Reese is not going to be a three-point shooter. She's just not. And all this, like, Angel Reese was a two-guard in high school. It's like, the gap between high school and the WNBA is crazy. Thon Maker was a point guard in high school. Played center in the league. Like, it's really just a different ball game. And does she have some guard skills? Yeah. Yeah, her ability to take people off the dribble first step, especially as a small ball center, is such a huge advantage. And that's why I will say, like, I do think she's probably better at the center position because she matches up well with other centers. Like, people are saying, like, oh, but like she's a power forward. It's like, she probably is a power forward, but she's able to take advantage of what she's good at more as the bigger player. And if she is playing at the 4, playing with a center that can stretch the floor a little bit, will help just get her some spacing because she's so good at taking slower players than her off the dribble. But as far as like her position, she's not a guard. She is a post player who had played guard and has developed guard skills, which is completely fine. But even like looking at the last game, the whole thing with Thomas, she got choke slammed and just got up. She just got up. There was nothing. She just got up. She played the rest of the game. Was she great the rest of the game? Not really. Like, that's going to take it out of you. Like, getting choke slammed by an MVP candidate is going to take it out of you as just a player. But that doesn't really matter because she got up, she dealt with it, and no complaints. She just went and played basketball. And then after the game, she's talking about how, like, no one's going to go easy, like, people aren't going to go easy on her, and she just took the hit and got on with it. Like, that is the attitude that you want. And it's funny because I know obviously people for some reason like just dislike Angel Reese, and I don't know if I think a lot of the people that dislike Angel Reese just don't watch women's basketball at all, or have just not watched basketball, or have judged her on that what happened in 2023, which, look, at the end of the day, it was ridiculous some of the stuff being said about her. It's like, the worst thing you could say about that is that if you wanted to argue maybe it wasn't the best sportsmanship, like, cool, but like, it's basketball. When has sportsmanship mattered in basketball? Like, that's the worst thing. But all the crazy stuff that were said about her after that was just it was just horrible to see. And then even right now, it's like when we look at basketball players and what we want, what people say they want from a basketball player, all of it describes Angel Reese. What people want someone that's tough, that works hard every game no matter what, that isn't soft at all, won't flop, will fight for everything, is a team player, isn't selfish, and then at the end of it all, doesn't complain to refs, leaves it on the floor, and as soon as the game's done, it doesn't complain, is one of the better, plays defense, is one of the better players on the floor anytime, can fit into any system, and then off the floor, brings in eyes to the sport because she's almost like a larger-than-life figure, is a really good teammate, is just a nice person. Like, every box you want to tick for a player. The only thing is that, like, is her game interesting to watch? It depends on what you want from basketball. Like, if you're a fan of the sport of basketball and you're there to watch if you're there watching full games, some of her hustle plays, a lot of her stuff is great to watch. But if you're a box score watcher, if you're a highlight watcher, the closest thing to a highlight Angel Reese is going to have is a layup. Like, that's just the truth of it all. But at the end of the day, that matters. It does, because a lot of people that watch the sport and get involved in the sport are only watching for the highlights, and she's not a clip machine when she's on the floor, which is completely fine though, but she does everything else well. She is like the perfect, absolutely perfect team player. And I think when it's all said and done, she's going to be an all-time great in this league just because of how she plays. And I wasn't sure how it was going to translate because her game was so reliant on that rebound. The rebounding is the biggest thing about her game. And she was kind of undersized at 6'3". It's interesting to see how it would have been interesting to see how she gets on against some of the bigger players in the league. Like, there are 6'4" players that play almost like guards, whereas she just wants the ball more than them. It's simple as that. It is as simple as that, being on the floor, and it's the reason why I'm so impressed with the game of Angel Reese. I don't think she wins Rookie of the Year. I think she probably is an All-Star. I think she's going to be a 3, 4, 5-time All-Star at least in this league. Just because I think she's going to be, regardless of how it is for a rookie deal, people are saying, oh, she's going to win with the Chicago Sky team. Look, the Chicago Sky team are going to be a tough out for anybody in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to, they're going to really compete. I don't think they have the talent level to do it. But, still, Diamond DeShields, Mabry, and, Reese Williams is playing really well. And when Cardoso comes back, I think they're going to be a really tough out for anybody in the playoffs in the early rounds. But I think they're going to be a lower seed in the playoffs. They're in a conference with the Liberty and the Sun. They're very unlikely to come out of that conference. But, so, putting a crazy winning thing on them early is going to be tough. But they are the perfect team for Angel Reese. You've got a coach. You've got a whole team that plays with toughness. You've got a coach that wants the team to play like that. And I've always said, I would absolutely love to see Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark play with each other because I think their play styles complement each other perfectly. But then, if you're going to do that, don't put them with Christy Sides. Christy Sides is going to be trying to coach that 19-foot jump shot into Angel Reese. But, yeah, it is just one of those things where I'm so high on her as a player. I think she is, the perfect team player. I think she's the perfect fourth option on a team. I think right now she's the perfect fourth option on a team that wants to be good. I think in the future she could be a good third option. I'm not sure. We'll see how the offensive game develops. If her offensive game develops and she gets a mid-range jump shot that she can hit consistently, doesn't necessarily need the 3-ball, and because she does get to the line well and is starting to shoot better from the line, there is a scenario where she averages around 15 a game, which I don't think anyone other than her biggest fan would have thought coming out of college she'd be doing that. I thought I wasn't sure how the rebounding would translate. I knew the defense would translate. You knew the defense was going to be there, but you didn't know if there was going to be any offense at all. But the offense is way better than I thought. I didn't realize how she was going to be able to take people off the dribble so easily. In college, she wasn't doing that nearly as much. She was still doing it a bit, but she was just overpowering people and using her height. But, her ability to just take bigger players off the dribble, man, she went and cooked Jonquil Jones and then had Thomas put her in a freaking choke slam. So after locking down Breanna Stewart a few games earlier, like, so she is elite. She's absolutely elite. Is she the best rookie right now? My rankings would be, as far as who I think are the better players, I would say it is so tough to judge, because are we judging who the best player is on who can right now help a team win a championship? If that's the case, it is probably Reese, Brink, Clark. If we're going on who has the highest upside and who could potentially be the number one on a championship team, it is Reese, Jackson, maybe Cardoso. Like, I don't think, so not Reese Jackson, it'll be Clark, Jackson, Alia Edwards, Brink, Reese. And if we're going on just who has had the better start to their WNBA career, it is Brink, Clark, Reese. Either way, though, an incredible rookie class. And if you're asking me who my favorite of these players is, it's Angel Reese.